Okay, now let's continue with our exercises for the hammer-ons and the pull-offs, the chord embellishments in R&B. And we'll be introducing a different type of hammer-on the second string when you play the -7 chords. But we can't apply this hammer-on, this new hammer-on, to both the D-7 and E-7, two -7 chords that we are using here as an example. And let's explain why. We will have to briefly touch the music theory again. So the D-7 and the E-7, in order to be in the same key, they will have to be in the key of C major or A minor. We already explained that C major or A minor is exactly the same thing, so let's assume that we are in the key of C major for the sake of this example. If C major 7 is our first degree, D-7 will be 2 and E-7 will be 3. So the 2 -7 and the 3 -7. Obviously the last chord, F major 7 will be the 4 major 7. Now when you play the -7 chord on the second degree, so D-7 in our example, you can actually play this embellishment if you like it. This is an embellishment that goes between the major ninth of the chord and the minor third, so between the notes E and F, like this. And it's one of the best hammer-ons that you can play, especially when you combine it with other hammer-ons. But we can't play the same exact embellishment on the E-7 doing things like this, okay? Because if I do this, and I use the major ninth of the chord and the minor third of the chord, well, that major ninth, the major ninth of the E-7, is an F sharp. And the F sharp is a note which doesn't belong to the C major scale, to the C major key, okay? And this is a general rule that you can remember about the -7 chords. You can't play the major ninth, okay, so this note here, if the chord is the 3 -7, okay, so the third degree of a major key, or the fifth degree of a minor key, which is exactly the same thing. If you guys are a little bit more experienced on music theory, you might know that this chord is called also the Phrygian chord, because it's the chord that you find on the third degree of a major scale, where you can start your Phrygian mode, your Phrygian scale, okay? And the Phrygian scale, the Phrygian mode, doesn't have the major ninth, it has the flat 9 or flat second. Therefore, even this chord doesn't include this note. It actually includes the F, the minor ninth or the minor second, okay? So you can't play this note because it would be an external note to the key. So you can only play this hammer-on the second degree, okay? Or if you happen to play the sixth degree, which is now not really comfortable in this key, it's A-7, and it's not comfortable with this shape, you can play the major ninth, that's no problem. In fact, if you like it, you can do it here, okay, from the -7 chord position that we knew. We do have 3 -7 chord in each major key on the second, the third, and the sixth, and now only on the third -7th, or 5 -7 if you look at it from a minor perspective, you can't use the major ninths. You can't do this. This would not sound good in the context with the other chords, okay? Now this thing actually helps us, because it can help our creativity when we practice these exercises to spice up the exercises on the strength of the fingers, on the hammer-ons and pull-offs. And for instance, on the D-7, you can now add this exercise, which is a hammer-on between the first and the second finger. Maybe still combine it with the one on the first string that we saw, even with the hammer-on pull-off. Like this, okay? And then you can try with the chord. Maybe combine it with the other hammer-on. And then try the hammer-on pull-off. Okay, and once you are done with the single chord, we'll try this with the metronome in a minute, you can now start moving from the D-7 to the E-7, keeping in mind that you can't do this hammer-on, so you'll keep the two hammer-ons or hammer-ons pull-offs that we saw already for the E-7. So combined together, an example of the double hammer-on on both chords could be again, again. It creates a really nice melody. Okay, and then on the F major 7, you can keep any of these hammer-ons that we already saw. Okay, so all together it could be something like or hammer-ons pull-offs sometimes. But let's practice even these new exercises with the metronome at 90 BPM. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And now with the chord. And now hammer-ons pull-offs. Now mixing them up. And now using more than one chord. Now we can slow down the tempo to 70 BPM for the sake of putting all of the chords we practiced separately together with a little bit more of creativity when we practice the exercises. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now with a double hammer-on pull-off. So yeah, just keep doing it as much as you can and you'll see the results. You'll see how stronger you become when you practice the hammer-ons and pull-offs in your embellishments.